Okay, so when you're doing testimonials, you're going to need your file folder up, which will be this one, and you're just going to click on the file globe and then go into the testimonials folder, and then all these files will appear. And they need to be in the JPEG format. And then you'll also have your content manager up, which will just be the content globe. And then you choose your market from the drop down. So in this instant, we're going to create a testimonials page because Olympia doesn't currently have one. So we're going to click new content, and we're going to name it testimonials. And then you just choose your market, and then which website, which is going to be RSVP. So the first thing you need to do is put the RSVP logo into your content area, and let's just find it. You have two test logos. You have this one that's called RSVP test logo, and this one, but I choose the one that's bigger. It just shows up a little better on the website. So you're going to click it to make it bigger, and you just simply hold and drag it. Now you're going to make it a little bit smaller. It's just a little too big for this space. That looks about right. And then you're going to find your cursor, which is here. And then you're just going to go down a couple of spaces, and then you're going to create a table. You're going to want your table to be 2 columns, 2 rows if you're dealing with quotes and pictures, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So we're just going to press insert and make your table a little bigger so you can see what you're working with. So if a client gives you quotes, we're just going to make one up. Then you're going to place your quote on the left-hand side, and then your picture will be on the right-hand side. Just kind of make this a little bit even. You just kind of adjust the table as you see fit. And then you're going to have your picture of the card already put in here, and you're going to Photoshop it so just the front of the card is visible. So we'll just choose a random card. So Mr. Handyman. And then you're going to make sure your cursor is right here, and you're going to take the picture and then just drag it in there. And that's a little too big. Oh, it's not in the right spot. You can kind of see where the cursor is. There we go. And just make it a little bit smaller. You can kind of use, whatever you feel is best. And then maybe add one more. Let's see, find our pictures again. Choose solar film. It's kind of a tiny one. Just going to grab it once again and just drag it. You may have to work with it a little bit. There we go. This one's really small, so we're going to try and make it as big as the Handyman one. It's a little blurry, but... Okay, so if we wanted to add a letter, we're going to find our cursor again down here, and then maybe add like one more space, and you're going to create a new table. And for letters, you're just going to have it to be 1 column, one row. You can make it bigger so you can see what you're working with. And you want to keep the table in line with the RSVP testimonials name, because this is kind of your guideline here, so you don't want it to exceed that, because on the web page it's going to be a little distorted if it's too big. So then you can just choose a testimonials letter, and it's the same procedure. You just take it and you drag it into that area where the cursor is. Sometimes this happens and it'll take up the whole screen. This is just a glitch within testimonials. At this point, you have to X out of the whole thing and start over.
Mm.
Okay, look at our content page back up here.
Should we be saving it as we go? Does that help?
It does help if you save as you go, yeah. If you've done a lot of work in there, then you should definitely save it, because you see we have to go all the way back to the beginning now.
Yeah.
I probably won't redo the cards, I'll just redo the letter.
Okay.
But I'll put the RSVP logo back in there so that it doesn't look weird. So, here it is. Okay, it's good enough. You'll see what it looks like on the site. And you can kind of, well, let's fix it while we're here. Okay. So you're at the table again. Insert. Okay. So the way to avoid doing what we just did is just make sure that your cursor knows exactly where it's going, so that, because then it'll just go anywhere. So, okay. There we go. So maybe make it like that big-ish. How do I scroll up?
It's not really there, is it?
No. Okay, thanks. So, yeah. Oh, it's not in the box. It's not that big of a deal if it's not in the box, but if you only had one letter, it's not a big deal. But if you had a couple, you want it to be in the box, because, come on. Because you can put a border around it, and it'll separate the letters from each other. I'm just gonna delete it and, like, redo that. Okay, there's my cursor. Okay, this time it's in the box. Just make it about that big. Okay. So, we're just going to save the content, and it'll bring you back to your home page. And you want to see what you did on the website.
What do you need?
I was going to show you what it looked like on
Oh, a new
RSVP.
tab?
Yeah.
Oh. New window, new tab. Window?
Sure. It works. Thanks. Okay. So, you're going to go to Olympia. And then testimonials right here on the side. This is what we did. See, and you can change this part. I mean, it does look a little smushed, so you can make it a little bit longer. And then here's your letter. And the border I was talking about, like, for example, the letter's all white around here. You can't really tell where the letter ends and the screen begins. So if you want to be able to see that, you can just go back in there. And you're going to click on your table. And you're going to put a border around it. And usually 1 is a thick enough border. The numbers just represent how thick it is. That should be right. Okay, there we go. And now there's a thick border around here, if you can see that. And when you press save, go back here. Is this the refresh? Okay. Sometimes things happen, but you can still see that there's a border around here and not a border around the RSVP logo where it used to be.
And you just have to redo it when it does that glitchy glitch thing.
Yeah, you just have to redo it when it does that, unfortunately. Just delete. You can keep the table there if you want.